Alright gamers, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to find your perfect sensitivity in Rainbow Six Siege. Before we go any further, there are links to my Twitch and Twitter in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. So, the reason why obviously your sensitivity is very important, it just basically is how fast or slow or how precisely you can aim, move, whatever it may be, right? So right now, my current sensitivity is 800 DPI on 12-12-83. I will get into why I use this sensitivity later in the game, but that's just later in the video. But this is just what I use. Taking a step back from the actual in-game sensitivity, what's really important is a good big mouse pad and a good mouse. I recommend Zowie and Logitech for these products. I'm not sponsored, I just really like their products. Right now I use a Zowie mouse pad, which I believe is 16 inches by 18 inches. And then a Zowie mouse. The reason why you want a big mouse pad is because, let's say you have a small mouse pad, right? You say you have a 6 by 6 inch mouse pad. It's really small, big, like a small square. You can only use a high sensitivity, and that's not ideal. A low sensitivity is far superior to a high sensitivity. The only advantage a high sensitivity has is the ability to do 9 360s. And I don't know why you would possibly need that unless you're trying out for FaZe Clan tomorrow. But the reason why you would want a low sensitivity, it's a lot easier to track objects. It's a lot easier to build muscle memory. And you can still flick. Like on my mouse pad, I can do one full 360. That's all you logically need to do. Again, unless you're trying out for FaZe Clan tomorrow. But the reason why a low sensitivity is also better is it helps build muscle memory, okay? So let's say from this door frame to this door frame, this edge to this edge, is moving 2 inches on your mouse pad, right? Because what your mouse and mouse pad correlation is that in game, this to this is, let's say, like, I don't know how far is I mean, whatever. You can see how far it is on your mouse pad to get from this door frame. There's a target, right? And then let's say 2 inches to the right is the target area to hit this to hit this door frame. Because the way your mouse works, there's the sensor in it, and every time you increase your DPI, it splits that sensor pretty much. At least that's how I understand it. It splits the sensor, so it makes it a lot more difficult to precisely hit a target, because you split that sensor into such small pieces to where there's a lot more room for error, right? From here to here, the sensor part, basically there's a bigger window for me to hit on my mouse pad. There's a bigger target. If my sensitivity is higher, that target spot to where the target on my mouse pad correlates to this door frame becomes a lot smaller and a lot harder to hit, which is why with a slow sensitivity, it's a lot easier to build muscle memory and be more continuously precise and consistent. I said I could do 1 360 on my mouse pad. I can actually do a little bit more. My sensitivity is a little slow for my mouse pad, but that's a good judge on how well your sensitivity is suited for your mouse pad. Basically, just make it so you can do 1 360, right? That's what I recommend. I recommend 800, 400 DPI, again, just because it splits the sensor the best to be more consistent. The reason why I use 12-12-83 is because right now, I'm on, like I just said, 12-12-83, 800 DPI. Without ADSing, moving my whole length of my mouse pad, I go basically to this little corner from the Alibi Prisma's head. ADS'd, I do the same thing, okay? The reason why that's good is because you don't have to learn two sensitivities, right? If you're, I see people you like run Shiko sensitivity, which is 12-12-35. We'll just put this on for a, example. Personally, I find that really slow, but I like the way my sensitivity is just because of the 1-to-1 ratio. You only have to learn one sensitivity, right? Because 1 360 or one full length of my mouse pad goes to here, as we discussed, but ADS, one full length of my mouse pad only does a 180. Not even, it does a little less than a 180. So you have to learn two sensitivities, right? Because moving 2 inches on my mouse pad could get me to here un-ADS, but ADS, it could only get me to here. You have to learn two sensitivities, which is why I use the 12-12-83, because I only need to learn one. Oh, I did that very precisely. Anyways, that's kind of it. Oh, one more thing. A multiplier. there's a way in the game settings to change your sensitivity to basically make it more precise, right? You basically just change where the decimal point is, because right now the decimal point's after the 2, okay? If you change the multiplier, I don't know how, I've never found a need to, because I like the sensitivity I have. But anyways, you change the multiplier, and you put the decimal point in between the 2 digits, so it becomes a 1.2. So it becomes a lot more of a precise of a sensitivity to basic, because like for some people from 12 to 13 or to 4, no, to, yeah, from 12 to 13 could be too big of a change. So what the way the multiplier makes it is it could be like, oh, I don't like going from 42 to 43. So that's actually really dumb. I don't like going from 6 to 7. I want something in the middle. So the multiplier would change it to, oh, I want to do 65. That's a 6.5 sensitivity is basically what it is. So I don't use a multiplier. I just use the default multiplier, and that's just what I use. This is my sensitivity. I'm pretty sure Bolo used it at one time. I didn't even know. I just used to have too fast of a sensitivity. I think I was on like 25. I'm pretty sure I had 50 ADS and like 14 or some different horizontal. And the reason why I changed my sensitivity was I was over flicking a lot. I still over flick a little much, but my aim was I didn't have good muscle memory because my sensitivity was too high. So one of my teammates, like I think it was back in 2019 even, was like, yo, your sensitivity's too high, try 12-12-83. And at the beginning I was like, wow, this is way too slow, but now I've used it for months and months, and it's actually really good. I highly recommend it. My favorite sensitivity for sure I've ever used, just because of the fact that it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You only need to learn one sensitivity, and it's just a lot easier to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The reason why I also like using a high ADS is because it's a lot easier to control recoil. Obviously, Alibi is not the best example because her gun's a complete laser, especially with the vertical grip. But it's just easier to be more precise, easier to control higher recoil. You look at Shaiko, people are like, oh, he's so good. Yeah, he doesn't really use such high recoil characters, right? He plays like Habana and Jaeger, who don't have that high of recoil. You look at somebody like Godly, who makes Twitches and Buck's gun look like a laser, especially with an ACOG. He has a higher sensitivity, he has a higher ADS. So there are advantages. I only recommend a high ADS, not a high vertical sensitivity, vertical or horizontal, just because you don't need to do 9/360s. But yeah, it just makes it a lot more easier to be precise, a lot easier to control, build muscle memory. This is also really good if you're just starting on PC, or no matter how long you've been on PC. I had been on PC for like 4 years before I changed my sensitivity to what it is now, and I highly recommend it. There's no, I mean, you want to pick a sensitivity that's good and then stick with it. If you want to stick with a sensitivity, I recommend this one the most. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Just quickly recapping: big mouse pad, good mouse. I recommend Zowie Logitech. High sensitivity is only good if you want to do 9/360s. It's completely pointless. Low sensitivity is a lot better, either 400 or 800 DPI. A good gauge of how well your sensitivity is suited for you is if you can do 1/360 on your mouse pad. Streamer I really like to watch, Austin. He can only do a 270 on his mouse pad. I do like, I don't know, a 390, 370, something like that. So I could slow my sensitivity down a little bit. I just like it the way it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll use 12-12-83. To 1-to-1 ratio between horizontal and ADS, and then a multiplier just makes your sensitivity more precise. But thank you for watching. I stream pretty much every day, link in description below. But yeah, thank you for watching. Link to my Twitch and Twitter in the description below. Peace out, gamers.